NEFT, RTGS, IMPS. Why three different services when all of them ultimately serve the same purpose? Have you encountered a problem in picking the apt one? What is the difference? Which is the best service? Don't worry, in this video we will be explaining the basic details of the three services and point out key differences among them so that you can pick the right one which suits your requirement. First of all, what is NEFT? For those who are coming across this word for the first time, NEFT is an acronym which stands for National Electronic Fund Transfer, which enables bank customers in India to transfer funds between any two NEFT-enabled bank accounts on a one-on-one basis. NEFT transactions are processed in batches of half an hour each, which means there will be 48 batches every day to process NEFT transactions alone. NEFT transactions can be initiated on all days of the year, including Sundays, bank holidays, and government holidays. Earlier, NEFT transactions were processed only on bank working days. But the good news is that recently, RBI, in one of its circular, has stated that the system will be available on all days of the year, including holidays. NEFT can be done both online as well as offline. You can transact online using internet banking or the mobile banking system. NEFT is not just restricted to the online mode but can also be transacted over the counter at your local bank branch by just filling in a form. For those who are always confused if there is a limit on the amount to be transferred, hear me out. There is no such minimum or maximum limit of transfer in case of NEFT. The main and foremost thing to look before making a NEFT transaction is to check whether or not your bank has NEFT-enabled services under the RBI. Most of the public and private sector banks these days certainly offer NEFT services, so you don't have to worry about them. Lastly, what about the charges for the NEFT transactions? Service charges differ from bank to bank and also depend upon the quantum of money you are transferring. We advise it's best to check with your transacting bank to know the details in exact. RTGS, which is the real-time gross settlement, is a fund transfer system that allows instant transfer of money or securities. Gross settlement means the transaction is settled on a one-on-one basis and is not bundled with any other transaction or processed in batches like NEFT. RTGS is widely used by business people to transfer huge sums instantly. This mode was primarily brought into existence to facilitate trade and market transactions. Unlike NEFT, RTGS is not a 24/7 system. The transaction can be made at any time, but is processed only on bank working days. If done on a working day, the transfer takes place instantly and in minutes. Keep in mind to avoid making RTGS transactions of huge sums on bank holidays. As like NEFT, RTGS can also be done both online and offline at your nearest branch. To facilitate the RTGS transaction, the minimum amount should be Rs 2 lakhs, but there is no cap on the maximum amount. The most important thing to look before making a RTGS transaction is to see if both the originating bank and the receiving bank are in the RTGS system of RBI or not. You can simply check this with your banker. You also need to note that the service charges are slightly higher compared to NEFT and IMPS. Next up, let's move on to IMPS. IMPS, which obviously stands for Immediate Payment Service, is an instant interbank electronic fund transfer system. Transfer of funds between accounts takes place instantly and on a real-time basis. IMPS is available 24/7 unlike RTGS. That is, you can use IMPS to transfer funds at any time, any day. Adding to this, IMPS is only available online, which means that you have to use internet banking or mobile banking to be able to transfer funds through IMPS. Though the transfer is instant, here is a catch. The maximum amount you can transfer using IMPS is Rs 2 lakhs per day with no minimum limit. The service charges for IMPS in most of the cases is similar to that of NEFT. Now that we have known about each of the three services separately, let's put them all at one place and understand the distinctions between them. Let's begin with the settlement type. For NEFT transactions, the transfer happens on a half-hourly basis, whereas for RTGS and IMPS, the transfer takes place at a real-time basis. Moving on to the service timings, NEFT can be initiated round the year, including bank and government holidays, whereas for RTGS, the transfer can happen only during bank working days, but IMPS is a 24/7 service. Next up, we have the payment modes. NEFT and RTGS can be initiated both online and offline at your bank branch, whereas for IMPS, the mode is strictly restricted to the online mode. To look at the minimum amount, NEFT and IMPS don't have any minimum amount required, whereas for RTGS, the minimum amount you can transfer is Rs 2 lakhs. The maximum amount that can be transferred via NEFT and RTGS is not restricted to any particular amount, but whereas in case of IMPS, the maximum amount you can transfer is Rs 2 lakhs only. There is no best method one can pick from the above three services. But yes, depending upon the requirements of each class of customers, these services are sure to provide the best user experience. Keep all those we told you in mind and refer back to this video in case you're confused to choose one. We hope you found this video highly informative. Don't forget to share it with all your peeps who use these online services. Until next time, see you.